Hello and welcome to episode 341 of the Should I Play This Game podcast for the 19th of July 2026. Half the year is done, half the year is to come. How's your year?
Good run.
How's your year been so far, Steve?
Sleepy.
Sleepy? Excellent, that's a good state to be in.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about real world
No.
because the real world's fucking depressing.
Yes, indeed it is.
And I think we mentioned at the start of the last podcast episode some news stuff. So the Microsoft cuts did happen.
Mm-hmm, they did.
But fortunately, the studios that were supposedly in the targets either were independented or are in the processes of being sold.
Yeah, which is what we hope would happen when we had
Yeah.
that discussion. And
That's at least one positive.
Yeah, I guess they've not been completely closed.
No.
And I think Compulsion Games are already sort of out there saying, we're ready for work,
Yep.
give us stuff to do,
Hit us up, yo!
we're good. So, yeah.
And Double Fine apparently got given some runway money, but then like id and a few of the Bethesda studios got, I don't want to say stripped for parts because that's a bit of a hyperbole, but yeah, I don't know. It's a shame, but
Yeah.
game development, it's a shame.
It's a shame.
But yeah, how's tricks?
Yeah, not bad on my side, all good. So shall we get into what you've been playing?
I've been on holidays for literally the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So there is stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Of course there is. I have finished Grime 2. I said last time I couldn't figure out what the hell the story was doing, but everything else was fantastic. I think the story is maybe like an allegory for the artist's struggle. Like what happens when a creation doesn't turn out the way you want it to, persevering when inspiration isn't necessarily forthcoming for that creative side, and maybe some take on the destructive nature of man. I don't know. It goes some places. I finished it in about 38 hours, as is said there. Missing 3 achievements. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The movement, traversal, and platforming are excellent. The combat is brilliant, and failure in the combat, almost more than most Souls-likes I can remember, it's indicative of it being your fault. Like, you can automatically tell, oh shit, I know exactly what I did wrong. I know why I was slightly too early on this parry, which sometimes happens 3 hits in a row, which means you're dead. And it's like, oh, I had a couple of instances of getting hit during a cutscene transition on the final boss, which was a fucker. But aside from that, it's one of my favorite games of the year so far. It's a fantastic one of those, both from a search action perspective and a Souls-like perspective. I think it is a very strong continuation of the Grime franchise. Yeah. In a year where I have jumped off games quite quickly, and there are a few of those in this slate as well, this is one I stuck with, and I'm fucking glad I did because it's so good. Speaking of a game that's not so good, Industria 2. Now, I played the first Industria. It had a real sort of Half-Life vibe to it and like a narrative first-person shooter. This is the sequel to that game. I've got no idea where the story left off, and I've got even less idea where this is picking up from. So, like, you are the wife, I think, of the protagonist from the first game, and you're trying to find him after he put himself into an electronic system? I don't know. It's got some real neat like mechanics for opening doors. Like, it's sort of motion based where you click on the door and you pull the mouse towards you to open the door, which is actually really quite a neat way to do things to add a layer of immersion. But then they undercut the fuck out of it by like you have an interaction with an NPC who explains the backpack and does so in very video gamey terms. Like, oh, when you're out of play, you can access the bag. It's like, Why are you saying it that way? Because it's like I'm opening the door like a normal person. Now you're trying to tell me it's a video game? What the fuck? So they set some things up really well, but then completely undercut it, which is kind of a frustrating, I guess, dichotomy between the two. It's pretty disappointing, all things considered. Like, the writing's incredibly lackluster. The shooting and movement are fine, but they never cleared the bar of being just fine. It's quite nice to look at a glance, but it doesn't run well in spots. There's spots where you look at it a little bit more closely. It's like, oh, yeah, no, nope. And it seems to be fucking busted in spots. I had a point where I was trying to use an elevator for a second time. Couldn't step on it. Where it was on the ground, and I couldn't step on it. And that made no sense. And I had to put, there was an object that needed to go into like a lock mechanism to open a door. Only I couldn't put it in there, but I didn't know why. I don't know if it's because it was broken or if I didn't have the right piece or what the fuck was going on. So it seems like an attempt to sort of combine a sort of stealthy or crafting based like Metro with the sort of narrative style of a Half-Life. But the outcome feels like they ordered all the parts from Temu, duct taped it all together and kicked it out the door. Which is a real bummer because I was hoping this would be an improvement on the first Industria, but sadly it doesn't hit that. TerraTech Legion was still really fun. I hit a roadblock where later mission objectives were really resultant or quite strictly adhering to RNG. Like getting 80 luck with a character, or killing 3,500 enemies with drone weapons. Where if you don't get drone weapons in the first box or two, that ain't happening. And like, because you can hold 10, 12 rerolls, particularly once you've maxed out a character tree, I re-rolled used all 12 of those rerolls, no drone weapons. I was like, what the fuck? So like, I really enjoyed the handling model. The playing of it is like really fun. The destruction's fantastic, but the objectives on the missions were just no. That RNG adherence was really just doing my head in. So I'm just like, nah, I'm done with this. There was a patch that fixed some of those objectives, and to an extent it did. And they were like, oh, if you've got for the boxes, the loot boxes will pertain or be expansions of what you already have attached to your car or your tech, as it were. And I used the last character, which was basically a hovercraft, which that wasn't that fun to drive because it had no grip and its boost was annoying. But I did 5 runs where I burned all of my rerolls to get additional drone weapons. No. I did eventually get that one, but nah, I'm done. I mean, nearly 34 hours for a $15 game. I can't bulk at that. Nah. I didn't get haven't done most of the level 3 or the third levels of the 4 planets, but I'm pretty satisfied with what I got out of it. I really enjoyed the driving around and all that sort of stuff. It's just a shame that those last objectives were as fucked as they were. But I can kind of get why as well, because with only 4 planets, you don't want to burn through all of that real quick. But on the other hand, fuck RNG. Elementalis is another game I felt I jumped off quite relatively quickly. It's a Zelda-like action adventure game, very much modeled after and very heavily inspired by the NES Legend of Zelda. Where you're a kid whose parents caused a lasting calamity.
Oops.
Yep. They tried to destroy all the elements, because that's a good fucking idea. And then the game fast forwards 10 years later, and you're just like, I'm gonna go fix the world. Yeah, sure, bro. It's really expository early on, in that like it starts and stops the gameplay so it can really like get this story across to you, but also in a way of like, shut the fuck up, fuck off, and let me play it. But yeah, it's pretty simplistic, pretty basic, not in a good way. I played it. It says 2 hours there. The initial playtime was an hour and a half. I got really sick of the repetitive music that wasn't good. The relative simplicity bored me, and just the aimlessness of the structure. You're wandering for ages just trying to find where to go with no indication of, hey, over here. Like, for anyone who wants to say, oh, hand-holding, no. Like, Grind 2 puts an indicator of where to go. That doesn't mean you're going to go there, and doesn't mean you can get there, because you're going to get fucking killed multiple times doing so. But this was just aimlessly wandering around, just, where do I go? Oh, okay, I'm wandering into a, blocked off passage. Great, fuck this. It just felt flat and boring to me. And this thing's meant to be 12 to 25 hours long. I don't want to do that for 25 hours, up to 25 hours. It looks quite nice, with a relatively nice pixel art style that is quite reminiscent of the Legend of Zelda games, those early Legend of Zelda games, but this doesn't do it. This one does, though. I got a little bit too excited there. This is Retro Zelda done right. Echo Isle. Similarly, modeled after old Zelda games. Very 8-bit in its aesthetic. Almost to a point of looking borderline like a Game Boy Color game. But there's no bloat. It does have the 2-button gameplay of Elementalis, but it's significantly shorter. That 1.3 hours I've got there, that's as long as it took me to finish the game. There's no bloat. It's signposted in a way that's not particularly obvious, or not massively blatantly obvious, but it does help you where to go next. So you're not aimlessly wandering. Gets in, gets out, does what it needs to do in a way I really respect, but also really enjoyed. It would have been nice if it had achievements, but it's $7. For that price, I've got no complaints, and it's a really good one of these. This is another thing that came up in the gap between podcasts, but the people who buy, finish, and then refund games that are less than 2 hours long.
Yes, they did come up.
Kind of scumbags.
There was a developer who raised that. Who was it?
Oh, I got no idea.
Yeah,
I saw it on Reddit.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, that developer basically called out. Wasn't necessarily critical, but called out we need to have a solution for this.
55% of people refunding it after finishing.
But also praising it in reviews and stuff. So it's really great, and then go and refunding it.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and say don't request refunds. I literally did that for a game I played on Friday Night Fun because it was fucking terrible. I thought it was broken. I thought it was very bad, very average, very boring, very bad. I had refunded that because... that's the point of refunding. That's the purpose of it.
Yeah.
Not when you finish a fucking game, but trying to find the solution of, you go off the achievement? Do you go off achievement? Or how do you actually try and provide some sort of baseline for that is an incredibly difficult conversation. For $7, there is no way I'm going to complain about this. This is a fucking this is a fantastic little thing. Not a fantastic little thing. Despite having incredible... That's the other thing about Elementalis. Quite positive reviews. 83.5 median score on OpenCritic. And I'm just like, no. I was looking at some of them trying to figure out what the fucking hell, but couldn't figure it out. Same with Tethergeist. It's a precision / puzzle platformer, very much in the vein of Celeste, which, if people don't remember, is borderline a Masocore platformer from 2018, but had this really interesting and quite important story about mental health and anxiety, which it did by killing you over and over and over again. So May is this character here in the key art. I suppose I have a bit of an affinity for her because she's a ginger. We got to stick together, man. We're a dying breed. So May's from a village where spirit tethering is a thing. Like, this little axolotl here is a spirit tethered to her in some way, shape, or form. She wants to participate in a ritual called the Binding, which seems like it's some kind of trial linked to the usage of a spirit guide. But for some reason, like there's some kind of pain she has. Maybe it's a representation of menstruation. I don't know. She's not allowed to participate in it. So she just goes, you know what? Fuck this. I'm doing it. And bails out and runs away, leaves the village in the middle of the night. It looks really nice. Like it's got a really nice pixely art style to it. It's got some appropriately sort of dreamy music, which fits with the spirity, astral projection nature of things. The navigation, the platforming works well, which it's kind of crucial in a game like this. If that part doesn't work well, it's entirely fucked. The trial and error nature of the puzzle platforming and the imprecision, like the movement in the platforming is very precise. The movement of the astral projection of the spirit guide is not.
Oh, you control it, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's like you get it doesn't show it here, but actually yes it does. See this blue crystallized structure here? Basically what you would do is as May you would jump and dash and then astral project the spirit guide through this crystal because you obviously can't jump through it. And then let off the button, whoop, you go through it.
Yeah, okay.
But there are times where the precision on that required is absolutely fucked. Like just incredibly borderline ridiculous precision timings. And there's a mechanic that's very similar to the bash from Ori. You know when you get to those little nodes, you hold it down and you can pick your direction? Yeah, but in this you have to basically time it when you're falling and you have an arrow show up when you're going through these jellyfish that you can use this bash-like maneuver, but you can't aim it. Your aim is based on your positioning. So muscle memory would say you hold the button so you can aim it and then go, but no, the second you press the button, whoop, which means that unless you time that fucker absolutely perfectly, you are being careened into spikes and the like. And it's just like, nah. I admire it, I respect it, but I don't want to force myself to play through it. I could finish it. I finished Celeste. I think I may have had between 400 and 500 deaths in Celeste, but I still finished it. But there's just other things I'd rather do and play. And there's an idea here. There's bones here, but the projection and the incredibly precise timing, no. I like difficulty, don't get me wrong, but there's a point where difficulty hits the wall of frustration. It's like, no, fuck you. Not the case for this. Junkster, which fantastic name. It's a really neat 3D platformer, but it's got building mechanics in it.
Oh, okay.
So you see that down in the bottom left-hand corner here, there's a bunch of parts, and you can see some parts here with 14 out of 100. So you use these parts you collect in the world to build pathways in certain areas of the level.
Okay.
And you can either try and make them structurally sound or whatever, or you can make them whatever fucked up monstrosity you want or need to get moving. And it's so much fun. Like, it's just the right, like, it just hits the point of, in a like that traversal puzzle of, what the fuck do I need to do? Oh, this is how I do it, but you don't have that restriction or rigidity of the method of solution. There are some puzzles where it's like, you can only build in this spot, in this space, because you move the platform. It becomes uneditable, but it becomes usable and traversable. So it's super, super clever. Like, so it frames it. There's this. Don't ask me how this fucking makes any sense, but there's an alien reading. Remember those comic books or those magazines you'd get from the newsagents with toys on them? Yeah. There's an alien reading like 20 of those that are just different levels for the game.
Okay.
And then as the little robot, who I'm assuming is called Junkster, I've got no fucking idea. You're going through those levels, finding either parts for a spaceship or different like knickknacks that you can put on a diorama that you can then interact with. And there's an achievement for interacting with it. Yeah, it's super clever, and like I like the look of it. It looks really nice. It sounds all right. It doesn't. It's nothing like world shattering in its sound design, but it's the fun of playing it. Like it's clever without being obtuse. I only had one issue that I couldn't figure out, and it's partly because I accidentally skipped 2 levels. Because you can look at when you're at the main campaign menu, you can you can left bumper over to the left to look at the diorama, or right bumper over to look at the different issues of the Junkster comic book.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I could go two issues down and play that level.
Oh, okay.
Without playing the 2 before it. I've got no fucking idea how that happened. And literally, I couldn't figure out. I was like, okay, definitely I need some sort of saw blade to cut these larger tentacles. But there were these pink ones that I couldn't navigate, and there was only these tiny little legs. And you can make robots, by the way.
I'm looking at the
like pilotable robots.
I'm looking at the Steam page at the moment for it. Yeah,
it's fucking rad. Turns out, I think there was a mechanic I accidentally skipped in one of those levels that was like, oh yeah, you need to basically just cut these pink tentacles as well. I'm like, oh my god, I never thought of that. But yeah, it was, like I said, it was a pretty simple weapons-based solution I just didn't think would work. And it did, and I'm an idiot. I 100%ed it in 6.5 hours. It's one of the year's best surprises. I think I might have had it on a wish list, but my wish list is like 1,800 items long at this point. And it's $14. It's reviewed really quite well. Median score of 80. 60. The 63% recommend. They can get the fuck any, like the 37 that don't recommend that can fuck all the way off. That thing's fucking incredible. Oh, it's way better than it has any right to be. So that's Junkster. Lunar Abyss. I was gonna say that playtime's wrong, but I forgot I added these games last night before I finished this. Oopsie. So Lunar Abyss is a bullet heli first-person shooter that's a real dystopian fucking nightmare that has a bit of a sort of commentary on potential government religiosity and how they misuse that to like what might be happening in a certain world power now. You are imprisoned for 9,124 days because you were born with some kind of mark.
Okay.
And you earn days off that sentence by completing objectives as a warden, which you remotely control through the vestiges of this old world. You see a lot of decay, destroyed buildings, dead bodies, and husks. And like any good dystopian story, there's combative elements that are trying to form a resistance or trying to just engage in total control.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, that's not a dystopia anymore. That's modern America, but whatever. The starkness and bleakness of the dystopian form really comes through artistically. It's a lot of darkness, a lot of gray, but it's really punctuated by red, blue, or white lights for the most part. So, like, there's a fantastic amount of detail in the environments, but it's also this real sort of stark, just very.
They definitely got a style. They definitely got a style there, and the color scheme.
And they stick to it.
And they stick to it. Yeah.
They stick to it. There's an argument to be made that maybe there's not a lot of variety in the enemy types, but I don't know. Like when you're trying to dodge the fucking number of bullets that are coming at you in the bullet hell style, it doesn't really matter. It's tied together really well through the sound design. It's voice acted really, really well. Like it's fully voice acted. Most of, if not all, the voice actors are European of some kind. Like there's definitely sort of a pervasive English slant to most of the accents, but you get that European, like a Swedish sort of accent on some of the characters as well. The combat scenarios work really, really well. For that bullet heli style, it's like minute movements to avoid the different projectiles and stuff. It's an interesting take on first-person controls because normally I played mouse and keyboard. Right button will iron sight. This doesn't do that. Right button locks on like it's a Souls-like.
Oh, okay.
So you can move around and you just keep the target centered on you. which works really, really well. And the weapons, they're not traditional ballistic weapons. Like, you only get 4 of them. There's a sort of assault rifle, shotgun, sniper rifle equivalent, and there's basically a kind of a rocket launcher. That's a rocket-based weapon, but the other 3 are laser-based. So you get overheating, so you have to deal with the cooldowns. It'd be nice if there were more weapons or that the upgrades did more to them, because I found 2 of the 4 upgrades. There's 4 weapons, 4 upgrades. I only found 2 of them. Those upgrades just basically, hey, more damage, cooldowns are faster.
So pretty standard kind of things, yeah.
Pretty bog standard, but I think there's an extent to maybe which if you did more than that, maybe it becomes way too hard to deal with. It's like, fuck, what does this weapon do now?
Yeah.
The exploration and traversal in environments is enjoyable, controls really well, and there's a lot of first-person platforming, particularly in the 3rd act. There's some light environmental navigational puzzles to deal with, and there's a few different vehicle sequences. So there's a really nice variety in what you're doing, and the whole thing from a playing it perspective, there's a bit of Doom Eternal, bit of Returnal to it. It's nowhere near as fast as Doom Eternal, though. So you do still feel in control. Like, Eternal, sometimes it would be so fast you're borderline on the edge of not being in control. This you are. Did you do an update? Nicely, thank you. So I finished it in just under 8 hours, as can be seen there. 35 of the 45 achievements. I really enjoyed this. I think maybe some mid-encounter checkpoints would have been nice, maybe for the boss fights. And the other 2 upgrades being maybe a smidge easier to find would have been nice too. But yeah. It's a really interesting experience that I really enjoyed, but unfortunately the developer got shut down a few weeks after it released.
Yeah, okay. Damn.
So that, like, and I don't think that's indicative of the quality of this thing, because this is a fantastic game. Median score of 80 on OpenCritic. Very positive, mostly quite positive reviews on Steam. 88% of them positive. I don't think it's indicative of quality. I think it's just a sad indictment for sort of modern video game development and how hard it is, unless you're one of those 6 forever games that people spend all their money on. Which is a bummer, but fuck, Lunar Abyss is good. A game that is purported to be very, very good, with 86.5 median score on OpenCritic, but I did not enjoy, for much the same reasons as Elementalis. Tomb Water. It's a Souls-like, kind of Zelda-like kind of game set in the Old West, which there's not a lot of games set in the Old West, so it had the potential to be quite interesting. It starts simply enough in that you don't have a name, so I'm just going to say you're part of a crew that's trying to pull off a train robbery at the start, and it's meant to be your way out of the life, but it goes to shit, because of course it does. And as you're trying, this is literally this image here is about 5-10 minutes in. That opening scene where you get away from the train, you run across this, and then whoop, fade to black. Fade back up. 9 years later, you're on a train going out to the titular town of Tomb Water. And one of your former crew is the sheriff of Tomb Water, which fuck knows how that works. Because it's like, hang on a second, you were robbing a bank, we were robbing trains, how the fuck are you the sheriff? You get there, you find out some kind of madness has driven the town folk crazy, so kind of eldritchy. When you're driving on the train to Tomb Water, it gives you an opportunity, kind of like Mass Effect, where it's like, what's your background? And that's where you choose the classes.
Okay.
And there's some interesting classes, like you get it, most of them pretty much have a melee weapon and a gun. But there's a nice variation in some of the classes of different abilities and toys you can use as well. I just went the gunslinger because I'm like, yeah, let's go. The unfortunate part is, much like Elementalis, you're fucking wandering around trying to find where to fucking go. The map is not much help whatsoever because there are so many blocked off pathways you can't go because gates are closed off by switches and the like. And the map doesn't show any of it. So you're wandering around trying to just figure out where the fucking hell you're meant to be going. And I was getting so annoyed just doing loops trying to figure out where to go. It took me 45 minutes to find a door that I didn't notice, because of course it did. And then I made about another hour progress. Because like the only thing you get, nope, there. This old man in the train station will say, like, he goes, oh, if you need any help, just talk to me. All right, cool. What do I need to do? Go southeast. How do I go southeast, sir? Go southeast. Fuck you. Like, that's the extent of it. So when you're trying to figure out how to go southeast, the pathways don't make sense. The art style is really nice. It's got a suitably old western style score, which I fucking hated. Oh, that's not nice. That's not fair. I just don't. It's not my thing, so I didn't like it. But it's got some neat elements. It's got some potential. The movement and combat feel pretty good. It's a little rigid for the style because, of course, it is. But it just doesn't come together cohesively. And that structure really lets it down. And it's quite disappointing because I think back to Tearscape from earlier this year. 8-bit, Zelda, Dark Souls. And it did the navigation and the progression much cleaner, much neater, much tidier. And it all came together really, really well. Both this and Elementalis didn't do it. Which is a bummer. 2 more. Fucking go back. Yeah, there we go. Before I go, I did a holiday hangout looking at the first 2 hours of this and then proceeded to finish it. 8 hours. Well, the game time was 8 hours. 8 hours and 1 minute. And I had 96% completion, which is not reflected in the achievements, but whatever. It's a much more platforming focused search action game, Metroidvania. Borderline incomprehensible narrative. Don't fucking ask. Like, I said that I don't know what's happening in Grime. I got no fucking clue what's happening here. It's fairly short. I think it looks okay. I'm not particularly big on the art style. I think some parts of it look really neat. I think the playable character looks kind of silly in a way that doesn't really fit, but it's all about the platforming here. It is, for the most part, really super tight. It does fall back on a few tropes from back in the day, like long gaps between checkpoints, blind landings on jumps, knockback on hit from enemies into environmental hazards. Just a lot of things that make it way more fucking annoying than it needs to be. But for some dumb reason, because I'm just a stubborn pain in the ass, I persevered and I fucking finished it. I ended up missing some collectibles because I got a couple of areas that I had 100% on the map. I was like, yay! And then there are a couple of areas that I'm like 87%, but there's no fucking holes in the map. What the hell? So, it's fun to play. Like, really fun to play when it's all working. Like, there are some super long sequences where you're fucking zip and zagging all over the place. And when you fuck up a few times, it's like, which I was on a Discord call a couple times with a mate of mine, and I'm just absolutely going berserk. Just like, fuck you! Which must have been fun for him. I think it's really enjoyable. I think it's worthwhile. I don't think it's vital in 2026. Last game. One of the highest reviewed games on OpenCritic this year. I think it's tied for number 2 with Schrodinger's Call at 90%. Lost and Found Co. What if I said that this was a hidden object game? That's rated 90%. Part of it, I fucking love the art style. The art is fantastic. Yeah, hang on, let me go back. There's a really weird narrative where this little axolotl here is actually a transformed goddess. She's the goddess of war, because of course she is. Don't ask me how that happens. You are Ducky, who is a person who was made into a person from a duck. So may really stress yourself on the naming convention there. So you're first finding objects to get to accrue some faith in the goddess, because having more followers makes her stronger. And then you're building a lost and found company because you want to stick it to the big corporation trying to buy out May's last shrine. So it's a big fuck you. So it's structured really well. It's the game's split into both requests and story missions or levels, where requests are a bit smaller, and have a bit more like this box here that's checkmarked. That'll have a list of optional objectives to find. Almost all of the objects, even if they're not part of the hidden object list, have some kind of just neat little interaction that happened. So it makes the clicking on things, even though you're basically sometimes just clicking around trying to find something, it makes it really entertaining to do so. It offers varying degrees of complexity, but I hit a point where it's just like, where the fucking fuck is this fucking thing? It took me about 6 hours. I got about halfway through. All of the achievements are get 100% on this level. So doing all of the optional objectives, finding everything, and some of the optional objectives are fucked. I ended up there's a really good guide on the Steam discussion guides that basically have images for where everything is. At first, I was using that once a level on a couple of different levels early on, but then it just got to, I hit a level, it wasn't that one. I don't think I got to that one. It was a big mall, which isn't shown here, fortunately. It was a big mall that there were like 8 things I couldn't find. And when I needed to go to this guide for those 8 things, it's like, yep, okay, I've hit my wall here. I've hit the second half of the Where's Wally is way too fucking hard. Fuck this. It's not just finding the objects. It is those bonus objectives that add an additional layer of depth to the hidden object experience. It makes it really delightful to click on things and watch things happen, but it's still a hidden object game. If you find it difficult to pass the environment to find the things that need to be found, because your brain just isn't built for that or whatever the case may be, it will become frustrating. And that's where I'm just like, yep, 6 hours. I'd really like to finish this, but you know what? No, fuck this. So I said, no, fuck this. And then I went and finished Lunar Abyss instead. So that's been my last 2 weeks outside of, there's other things I did on video, but they're all up on YouTube so people can see those. That's my 2 weeks. What's
a lot of the same, like you did, 3 Zelda-ish style games?
Yeah.
Is that just they just came out this time of year, or was that
we know that my...
I know your wish list is massively long, I realise that, but did they just come out all roughly the same window?
Roughly the same time.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So, like, for the most part, I try and play through my backlog games in chronological order. Which means I still haven't touched Pragmata, which came out in April. That's one of the next things I want to get to. But there are times where I'll dip around, and sometimes I'll I've cut my backlog in like half over the last 3 weeks. Doing the different Friday Night Fun streams and the holiday hangouts. Just going, okay, I've got this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you play a game for half an hour, oh, this isn't for me, then you're back. That's one entry off your backlog, the sort of thing. So
yep. So I'm trying to be a bit more judicious in both what I buy and what I take the time to finish, but that's, I don't know, sometimes less successful than other times because I'm a dickhead with money. But yeah, it just so happened that like Elementalis, Tomb Water, Grime, and a few others were like sort of came out back to back to back to back.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And because of my weird brain predilections, it just ended up that's the order I played them in. Yeah, I'm weird. What have you been doing?
I've got 3 or 4 games on my list, most of which I haven't really spent a lot of time with. The first one is probably the big one off in early July at least. There's a couple of biggish games coming in late July, but that's Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. This is obviously a remake, remaster, whatever they're sort of doing.
I think they're saying remake.
I think they're saying essentially a remake, but of the 13-year-old game at this point, which is fucking scary that it's that old, but it is. It's been redone in the current engine. They've taken a lot of the. I honestly can't remember a lot of the original games. I can't remember. What,
It
I
was
can't
13
remember.
fucking years
It
ago.
was 13 years ago. I can't remember most of them last week, let alone 13 years ago. Um, so they've taken a lot of the animus stuff out of it,
Yep.
which in my more recent games has been pretty much non-existent anyway. So they've done
Yep.
that sort of. They've taken that sort of approach to this and sort of retrofitted that kind of removal to it. Um, so I can't really sit here and say comparing it to the previous game. Go, oh, I know they took that out or that out. I can't really say that. Um, there are reviews and stuff that do go into that more details of what's been removed and what hasn't been. But I've heard that thing like they've put it into the more recent Anvil engine that they're using, and it looks fucking stunning. It looks amazing.
Mm.
Especially when you like, it's a lot of it's Black Flag. It's got a lot of the sailing stuff in it, and the water
Yeah.
looks real damn good. So yeah, it's got a lot of like visual stuff upgrades. As you imagine, being brought into a 13-year-old, upgraded to a 13, more advanced engine or
Mm.
whatever. And I'm thoroughly enjoying playing it again.
Mm.
I can't remember the story at all, other than I know the character's name was Edward Kenway, and that's as much as I remember. So
Yar.
this is like it's essentially a new game to me. I can't remember much of the first one at all.
Is he a
Or
pirate of the Caribbean?
Yeah,
Boom!
boom,
Ah!
he is. But yeah, I can't remember the story. Like I've played about 2 and a bit hours of it. Um, and in the first part of the game, he essentially joins the Templars, which I don't recall him doing from the first game, the original game
Yeah,
at
that
all. So
from
but
memory, that narrative is fucking weird.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a bit bizarre. But yeah, so that's basically, yeah, I've been playing a couple of hours. I'll give it a lot of time. That was the one of my more favourite Assassin's Creed games overall of the entire series, not just more recent ones. Like that is
Mm.
a really great one, and the environment they created for that game is awesome, and yeah, looks really visually impressive now. So
Have you heard about the lunatic who played? I can't remember which order it was, but played this and then the original back to back. And he was going. He was like, "Oh, being able to then speak of what actual changes were made combat wise and all that sort of stuff."
mm,
But yeah,
no. Still playing Mining Merchant.
yeah, you are.
I think I must be getting relatively close to finishing that. I've unlocked the fourth area, but haven't gone there yet. Because I keep getting. So in that game, you're doing the story-based stuff, but you're
Yep.
also getting these random characters turning up asking you to make jewelry stuff for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's distracting me from actually doing the story stuff. So, but I've fully upgraded the shop. I think I've upgraded most of the mining, the actual mech as well. Most of the
Have
trucks
you
upgraded.
found the reasons for the earthquakes yet?
Yeah, so at the end of I can't remember which environment. I think it was the second environment. Yeah, the second environment's where you find that first, and there's like a ghost octopus looking thing that's trapped in a
It's fucking weird.
trapped in a like a what was he? I can't remember what phrase he used, but he said he got caught by something and was told to mine causes earthquakes every day, and his entire family's in the same situation.
Yep.
So yeah, it's fucking weird. So basically, once you've gone far enough down to find the trapped whatever the hell they fucking are, I can't remember is there anything screenshot?
Ghost octopies?
Yeah, nothing in screenshots had it. Um, yeah, so once you've so going down to get to the very like essentially to get to the bottom where they're trapped, you go through several different biomes. As a part of getting through those biomes, you can essentially destroy the. I don't know what you're destroying. There's things that have got like they've. There'll be you go to one that's all amethyst. There'll be like 5 things you got to
Oh,
destroy.
yeah.
Then the middle thing. I don't know. I don't know if they're given a name in the game or
Weird,
not. Like
mineral nodes.
mineral nodes or something. I'm not sure what that. Anyway,
Yeah.
for doing one of those, you get allocated get a core or something. I think they
Yeah.
a core. Or
I was
something
like, what the fuck do these things do?
yeah, and then eventually you find you've gone down and you might collect 2 or 3 of those. End up going as you go down. When you get to the very bottom, you're using those to destroy the same concept. 2 or 3 of those things help the middle thing get untrapped.
But you don't throw it; it throws it automatically. So I
Yeah,
had no idea what the fuck was happening for a
yeah,
period of time.
yeah. So they just sort of happen. So, and then once you've freed one of the ghost octopusy thingies from each of the mining plots you're allocated to, they become interactable to a degree where they can trigger a earthquake at that location to reset the environment you've done, so you can basically remine everything if you need to, because you've gone through all the good resources. So it's an interesting mechanic. As I said, I've been given the prompt to go to the 4th one, but haven't gone there yet. The game is great. I mean, it's
Fuck yeah, it is.
You've played it, you know exactly where I'm coming from. I mean, you've got you've got that's a pretty that's a very the only thing there's 2 things that I find frustrating.
Okay.
There's the mechanic of it's a bit hard to tell in the screenshot because they're all hiding it, but there is a display cabinet where you're putting things in it to sell, obviously. There's a weird friggin' bug in
sure is.
in the PC, in the version I've got, the PC version with the controller, where sometimes it seems there's like when you go into one of these things and interact with it to put something in it, you're given a list of your inventory, and it just completely loses marbles of what you think you can click on. It thinks you've got, it thinks you can't click on it, and it just loses marbles, and it's just bizarre. So there's that bug, which makes the whole thing. So you got in and out multiple times for it eventually. Just decides it's going to work, and you can put things on it. So that's pain in the ass, but manageable to some degree. The thing that frustrates you the most, though, is that this thing here in the screenshot here, shelving, you can upgrade that to have like 18 slots. I think from memory. You can't select from which ones from that independently.
Nah.
You walk up to it and go, I want to get me the next one. It just gives you the next thing, whatever happens to be. Yeah. And also, you can't, once you've started, so when you're doing that initial loading onto the display cabinets, you're doing that from your truck inventory.
Yep.
What you can't do when you start, if you then load up everything else into these shelves, you can't walk up to an empty display cabinet and pick from the empty shelves. The only way you can do it is to go to the empty shelves, pick up something in what they call a quick swap, which actually requires you to hold down the fucking key.
It's not that quick.
Not that quick. And it just gives you the next thing in the list, and you walk up and do the same thing other things. So there's a couple of UI elements that I would allow you to, if you're in shop mode and you haven't got access to your truck, it should when you go interact, it should interact with this thing. And so there's a couple of minor things like that sort of just make it a little bit fiddly to use and interact with. But the game itself is great. I think the story is pretty interesting. The characters are great as well with some of their dialogue. Also, you get the CEO, the Chief Events Officer.
That's fucking fantastic. Where she doesn't understand what CEO actually means.
Exactly. She'll just randomly say, on this date we're going to do this thing, and you're going to have high volume of people, and then they're going to be fussy or not fussy. They're going to pay more or pay less, that kind of thing.
Going to make a fuckload of money this day.
There's heaps of money on that day. So you're also then realising you need to then plan around. So there's one thing that I had to do was we're only going to sell bracelets, and only gold ones. I think it was gold items or gold bracelets. I can't remember how specific it was. Might have been just big bracelets, something like that. So I then had to go and make sure I had to make everything gold related and everything bracelet related, so make the criteria, and I managed to make an absolute fucking shitload of money on that day.
Yeah, you do.
But the other thing
people are idiots.
The other thing that's a little bit frustrating is sometimes when you're inside, like when do we have a screenshot here? I don't think we do. So this when you're in here making something, or you're inside the pre-leading menu item where you're choosing what to make and what you can also automate as well. you can't get access to the quest list. So I need
Yeah,
to
you have
make
to keep failing out to
back in
figure out.
back in, yeah, and it's a bit frustrating because it would be nice to be able to get access to the quest log to say I need to make a level 2 of something or other. Fuck, what was it? Level 2, level 3? Fucking what was it again? Like in and out. Oh, check it again, right? And so there's a couple of little quality of life things they could do that would make that game just about pretty damn well spot on. But other than those
Getting
couple,
quality of life deja vu.
yeah, with those couple of things, like that would be really, really good game. But it's still a fucking awesome one now. So
Fuck yeah, it is. The
I mean,
developer is aware of the bug.
Okay, yep.
I put a notice on the discussion board about it.
Was that you? Was it? I did go into
Yeah.
that. I thought, oh, that's interesting. Someone else has got it too.
There was
I
at
was
least
like,
one.
yeah.
And there's been 2 responses from 2 other people who were like, "Yo, this is fucked."
Yeah.
I don't know if mine's is the only just topic on that one, but
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, the developer was like, "I'm not quite sure what you mean because maybe I don't know, English might not be the first language or something."
Yeah.
But he did say he was going to look at it. I haven't heard anything since, and I've long since finished the game, so I'm not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that is one of these like fixing that. You could almost make an argument that this is borderline perfect.
Oh, 100%.
What it sets out to do.
Correct, 100%. Like the visuals are great. Like your mining stuff is just like is pretty.
God, I love the digging.
The digging is just so zen.
Yeah.
Like you've got not the.
I get bummed out when the dirt capacity fills.
Yeah. And you've also got like you're leveling up. You're in the top left of the screenshot. It's got a 7 next to the little character key thing there. That's your level of your mech. I'm currently, I don't know, 72 or fucking some bloody number.
You will probably hit like 90 to 100.
Yeah, you'll get there because it's relatively you get relatively quickly to get there. You're picking up random crap that can be like there's bombs you can use that just basically blow up the area and get rid of all the dirt and stuff around it.
They will destroy minerals and shit though, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, well, I kind of get that.
Oh yeah, I get why.
Yeah. But also you've got things like each of the little mechs you carry have a special ability. The very first one I think just has a thing which just drills fast in one direction.
Oh, that's so good.
The best one though is the 4th one, as far as I'm concerned. It does this wave of beams to go up and then out in a big circle and takes out like a massive amount of space in one go. Like
oh man!
It takes like if you were in this area and you were in the middle one of these, it'd take out most of what you're seeing on screen.
Do you get the minerals and that
Yep,
from that?
you get everything.
Ah, shit!
You get everything from it. It's an amazing thing.
I was so caught up on using the dash and I didn't fucking try that one.
It's probably the best one because basically if you fall down, so it starts up in the top and does a big sort of arc like this down to the bottom. So it does 180 degree on each side of him.
Oh, that's good.
So if you start at the very top and fall down, he basically goes down in a big circle. And you can get like hundreds of items out of it because it is a really, really good one. But yeah, I think the first one's good, but then when you get the second one,
it's like a stomp that
loosens
like gems and drags them.
And drags them, but that just does the item mineral stuff. The big thing does all the dirt as well. What was the third one? There's 4 of them.
Yeah, there's 4. I can't remember because I think I tried the second one. I'm like, nope, I like the dash. So I use the dash one basically exclusively.
Yeah, I mean I started with that, but yeah, when I found this freaking thing, I thought, that's awesome.
You motherfucker! You completely broke it. Now I'm fucking annoyed.
It's a fucking awesome game.
It is it's so good.
It's so good. Moss, the Forgotten Relic. This is something I think we talked about in a upcoming games thing. I played the demo of this. This is this is a normal playable version of the VR game from however long ago.
It's both of them, isn't it?
I think it's both
Moss 1 and 2 non-VR'd.
I think so. Yeah, I think they might have given it. Might be some more stuff in between. I'm not too sure how they've done it, but so essentially you're playing this little dude.
Is his name Moss?
Literally his name. Well, I don't know if he's actually given a name in the. He might be given a name in the. There are sort of not cutscenes per se, but you are. I didn't hear it all. You are given.
Yeah,
story
more.
elements.
This is 1 and 2
Yeah,
in one adventure, non-VR'd.
yeah. Um, so
How
yeah,
puzzly is it?
it's. Let's see if I can find a screenshot here that might give me a way to describe it. Okay, here we go. So you've got this little thing. I don't know how to describe it.
The
It allows
pedestal?
you. No, that's not. He's controlling that using
Ah,
this little blue thing over here.
oh,
So you can control it and sort of move things around that are only sort of only certain things can be interacted with.
okay.
Um, I think that might have been explained in the other part of the game why you got this thing. So there's a lot of sort of move this around to give you access to certain parts of the area. Each how do I describe it? Each sort of scene is fixed. So you might come in on the left-hand side of the screen and exit on the right. You just got the puzzle and gets you through the environment. Then it basically face the next environment. So it's not as if you're going through one big stream motion, if that makes
Mm.
sense. You're going from like load in, load out, load in, load out, load
Sort of
in.
set pieces,
Yeah,
diorama type.
yeah,
Okay.
diorama sort of stuff. You might have enemies in the screen in the environment that you've got to get around.
Oh,
I've
so you
not,
can't fight
I can't, I've not had any boss battles yet or battles with.
them.
There are things like little beetle things that you can have this sort of elemental using that same thing I was talking about that move the pedals around allows you to use this big hammer thing to destroy them. Or yeah, defeat them. Um, the scale and stuff is really neat because the way you're a little mouse and you're in this big
Yeah.
environment. So the way the design's pretty neat. I'm just not sure I like playing it. Um, I think if it didn't have this is going to be sound if it didn't have enemies and it was a pure puzzle game,
Yeah.
I think it'd be more enjoyable. But I think the fact you've got to use this thing to defeat enemies like this, it'd be okay if you just had mechanics to avoid them, get away from them, not have to actually. Essentially, you're in
Confront them.
combat. You're actually in combat with these things, and I think that just for me, yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure. Um, I played the demo for about maybe a couple of hours. Um, so yeah, still my wish list. So I might see what it does when it comes out. Not very far away. When it's come out. By the time it's out now, but I was playing it before the
Yes.
demo, probably freaking out. But
Oh, it's
yeah,
only literally just come out.
yeah,
Fuck.
like literally like 2 or 3 days ago
Like
it
four
came out
days ago.
as of time of recording. So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'll keep an eye on it, but yeah, I just
It
didn't
is
really.
kind of crazy to me that 6 years after the VR game, they're like, hey, let's put them both out. Fuck it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just not sure it works as a game for me because I'm.
Clumsy combat in a game like this can be a real bummer and a real
Yeah, and I,
downer.
I just think it should have just been a puzzle game, but yeah, is what it is. Rusted. This
This is the
is
one I was curious of that I saw
yeah,
on
this
your list.
one's interesting. This is a platformer where you play as a dog.
Yep.
Um, the visuals of it are pretty nice. I like the look of it. It's
Hmm.
sort of moody and stuff like that. Again, it comes down to the fact I'm not sure this is particularly good to actually play.
Ah, okay.
Because it's a platform game. So you're sort of doing jumping mechanics like this, and you've got some ability where you basically essentially fart. It looks like that's what you're doing, and it
Fuck
dashes
yeah.
and it dashes. Make you sort of a dash. I think it's
Death by
got
fight.
yeah. So it's got some other thing. I think it's like some sort of spark thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Um, and you do have combat elements too. You don't have a lot of well, in the demo that I played of it, there's not a lot of combat abilities, but then obviously I'm assuming going to be more as you progress through the game.
Mm.
I just think the nature of the jumping wasn't particularly good to me. Like it's more of a how to describe it? More of a than a that if
Like a
that
floaty jump, and
floaty jump rather than a like you don't think like you're sort of going somewhere and like
there
it's
isn't the precision, sort of the feel, the
yeah
tight or precision or precise feeling of jumping. Platformers kind of need a really tight, sort of precise
yeah
jump.
and there
Floaty
was
jumps can be a fucker.
there was one section that's not in the screenshot where you're sort of doing a jump like that to that to that to go up an area.
Oh, sweet.
And if you miss the jump of it, you fall right down the bottom, and you think you've got the timing right, and you just don't, and
Mm.
it just became really frustrating to play. Um, I've kept it almost. excuse me, on my wish list because, as I said, I think it looks really neat.
Mm.
Anything with a dog in it, I'm going to play for obviously reasons. But I think there's another game that's coming out. I don't know when it's actually out yet. It's called Barkor, and it's basically it's actually a 3D version of this essentially.
It's kind of like Metal Gear Solid but dog.
Yeah, essentially. And I think that's probably got more promise than this does from my perspective. But yeah, still looking forward. I think visually it looks really neat. I just, as in, sort of go back to the Moss one. I'm not sure it's fun to play. But...
So I saw when I got on to get ready for this morning, I saw you had this on your list. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I looked it up and I'm like, demo, eh? I've downloaded the demo, so I might, if you're okay with it, might have a look at the demo on Friday Night Fun to sort of dig into it and see what the go is.
I don't get. Go for it.
Yeah, because it looks, like you said, it has a great little hand-drawn art style.
Yeah, as I said, this art style is amazing.
Yeah.
It looks really neat. I'm just not sure with the bit that I played, which doesn't mean wasn't the full demo. I'm just not too sure the controls are where they need to be. So yeah, obviously your mileage will vary on that because that's all a personal preference thing. But yeah, I'm just not sure it quite does it for me.
I've also found a couple times, particularly in the last couple of weeks, that when I've played demos that then have been reviewed really well, I play, like, when the full product comes out, I didn't really dig the demo. I play the full game and enjoy it way more.
Yeah, look, it's entirely possible that this demo was 6 months old and it's way different now. I don't know. Hence why I've kept it. Hence why I've kept them on my wish list just to see. I'll check back in like a month's time, and if it's on us, not that that's particularly expensive, that game.
Like Lunar Abyss was that way, Lost and Found Co was that way, Before I Go was that way, and Another Crab's Treasure, which I'm playing through on the Saturday version. I was like, I'm not digging these that much, and I'm like, fuck it, let's buy it again. Being a bit stupid, like just going, duh, let's buy it. No. Yeah.
But that is it for me. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So let's go into this thing.
Ooh.
In the beginning of the end, we have theoretically we might do a video next week, although
we couldn't come up with one last week. We didn't
do one last week, so we might not the same again. You've obviously got your streaming stuff at twitch.tv/enemy starship. Is your back at work after this record?
By the time this is up, I'll have been back at work.
Back at work, so your streaming
holiday hangouts
will disappear, and we'll come back in about 10 weeks' time, give or take, when there's still
school term. There'll be 18 weeks of possible holiday hanging out.
Because you've got long service leave, don't you, or something? So they'll continue to those streams will continue over the coming weeks. As we might try and do a video next week, but yeah, that's to be DBD.
Yep.
We're back in a fortnight for the first episode of August, where we will do the August releases.
Yes.
The
beginning of the fucking avalanche.
Yes, exactly.
Fuck.
Until then, that will probably do us. Thank you for your time, Steve.
Thank you.
And we'll be back. We'll be back in a fortnight. Until then, thanks for watching and goodbye.
Bye bye.